Day 9 of 31 Days of Tarot with Anthony Dawn. What was a memorable reading in 2019? Hi everyone, this is Casper the Boy Diviner here today, and I wanted to cover a few memorable readings that happened in 2019 and one from 2018 at the end of the year. If you're enjoying this content, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe, leave a comment. Let's talk about memorable readings and see if any sort of experiences that you share with me that is similar to what I've experienced. I would love to hear them. There are two types of readings I'll cover today, 4 readings in total. The first 2 is about validation about my abilities, and the other 2 are more about building a connection and also learning a lesson with tarot, through what they show me. Okay, so I'm going to cover the one that happened late 2018. So I managed to get a booth where I read for strangers at $10 for 10 minutes, Singapore dollars. And that was really low, so many people came to me. And at that point in time, I was really trying to stretch my tarot abilities. I've not read for strangers in person that much yet. I was still finding out my style, finding out what kind of reader I am. So I forced myself to use the Celtic Cross for every single seeker so I can really push my abilities. And I felt like that whole experience really helped me a lot. But there was one in particular, after I did the tarot reading, this Celtic Cross, the lady across from me, about maybe like around twice my age, maybe like twice my age is a bit stretching it, she's about in the late 50s. She leaned over and said, "What you just told me is completely true. People are not having my back and people are betraying me." And that really made me feel sad, because when I saw the spread, I kind of not wanted to tell her the full extent of it, but as a tarot reader, I had no choice. Plus, it's always risky to tell someone that something is happening and it may not be. But that was like my first big validation when she agreed with everything I said about her current situation and how to move forwards, which is basically she had no choice. She had to leave sooner or later from her current career. So that was my first validation, not a very happy one. Sorry about that, but that made me realize, after that 2 days of reading the Celtic Cross straight, again and again, 10 cards for people, it really helped me push and break through. And I had this sort of connection and understanding of the cards that I didn't have before. And she validated that immediately. I think the best part about reading for people in person is to get that validation ASAP. But right now, I only do remote readings because of certain reasons. I can cover that in another video if you're interested. Please let me know if you're interested in a video about in-person readings versus remote readings and why I prefer which. The next reading I want to talk about is from a customer who has turned into a friend right now. They actually asked me for a year ahead reading this year in April. And I was like, okay, I can cover May to 2020 April, right? Because that's what people usually want to know. They want to know what to prepare for, what the future holds for them. And they were like, no, I want you to cover the months that have passed and what lessons I should have learned from them. And that super scared me. That made me so freaking nervous because I wasn't sure if I'm gonna predict it right. What if she has gone through a great melodious time in January to March, and then my cards came out bad? I don't know. I felt so scared, and yet I felt like it was a challenge from her, from the universe, telling me, this is the time to really try and stretch your abilities. I mean, I was ready to not do well. It's fine if I didn't, and she would just tell me and we can just move on. But I felt like I needed to take that. I needed to take it even though I was taken aback. And after doing that reading, I was a bit scared because the death card came up. And to me, when I saw that card, it kind of echoed to me something about her career. We talked about it. I talked about it in the video. And because, again, this was a remote reading, there is no in-person confirmation. And that's why I also feel like sometimes in person you're kind of cheating because you're sort of co-reading the person by accident. I sent her the video and she confirmed everything I said about her past. And that made me feel so much more comfortable with my abilities, so much more confidence in how I read. And that kind of self-imposter syndrome kind of quietened down quite a bit after that. I knew that, my communication with my allies was there, even though I don't really believe myself all the time. Okay, so those were the 2 readings that really solidified my confidence as a reader, and that's why I began to offer readings to other people more and more, being less intimidated every time I do a reading. I mean, no matter what, even in my career, before I do something, there's always a sense of nervousness. I think it's a healthy nervousness. Previously, maybe it could have crossed over to too much anxiety, but now I do feel comfortable. I do feel like it's the right amount of nervousness to keep me in touch with my current self, and I still feel like I'm pretty objective. I know where I can work on, what I should work on, and that's why I always take feedback from my customers, even good or bad. I love feedback. That's the only way I can grow as a reader and as a tarot practitioner on on this platform. I think I rambled like super long. Sorry about that. The next reading, the third reading I want to talk about, this reading scared me because I dealt out, I will show the reading here. I dealt out the Reaper card and the Six of Swords reversed. At that time, I was seeing someone, and because it was going so well, I didn't think much of it. I thought it's gonna go fine, so I just assumed this had not to do with me and someone else because I knew people who were going through tough shit. So, when I do a daily reading, I don't really ask. I do ask like, how's my day gonna be? But it could be someone telling me that some shit has gone down and it has manifested in that, because that's the most major thing. That day, I had a date with someone. So I had this niggling feeling that maybe this could be for me, but no. I shan't believe it. I shan't allow it to happen. I'm gonna just try my best. But that very day, things went down and the thing ended sort of temporarily. And that's why I think the Six of Swords reverse was there, because we weren't able to move on completely. There was always that lingering kind of, is it gonna happen? Is it not gonna happen? We're gonna give each other space, but we don't know what's the situation. So it kind of rattled me and made me scared of doing daily readings, because do I want to know? But the fact is, whether or not I have done this reading, it would have happened. I guess the fear now is, when I see something like that, should I be more wary? Should I be more careful? What can I do to prevent this? I think going forwards, how I'm gonna read, if something like this happens, I'm gonna ask something like, will this happen to me? Or will it happen to me adversely? How can I lighten the load on this? Maybe I should ask follow-up questions instead of just doing a 2-card reading, seeing something bad. I'm like, oh no, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna just hold on. Instead, I want to cultivate a more closer spiritual communication. Ask for some follow-up actions instead of just letting it be. So this is my next step for me. This was a memorable reading because I totally didn't expect it to happen. Everything was going well. I didn't see it happening and it was so sudden. Yeah, so this was a lesson for me this year to, not be afraid of asking follow-up questions, not being so afraid to recognize that this could happen to me, and doing those follow-up questions. And I think, I should have fewer assumptions when I'm doing readings. I should do a confirmation, like, at least asking my moon blocks, is this about me or not? So that's another memorable reading I had this year, a negative one. But the next reading that I had was really nice. My father, I think I talked about this in my recap, that my dad went through a condition. He went to the hospital. I was really scared. I don't know what's going to happen. He had the operation, and after operation, they said he was fine. We saw him for like half an hour before letting him rest. I went home and drew some cards just because I wanted to play with Carnival at the End of the World deck. I wasn't in the greatest mood, but I saw this card. I'm going to show it up anyway because I can't find the other one. I can't be bothered, but this so happened to just be right in front of me. I had a Justice reverse, this one, and again the Six of Swords reverse, which I felt like keep coming up this year. I immediately saw it. I saw that my dad was completely safe. It was a really close brush with death. And even though the death card didn't come up, the Justice here is really about, weighing of the heart. When they weigh your heart versus a feather to see which one is heavier and lighter. Because if your heart is heavy, it means, you go somewhere bad. In any case, it's about post-death, and this being reversed told me that my dad is safe. The Six of Swords in this deck is also about the river Styx and moving across that river to go to the underworld, and it being reversed as well told me that my dad was safe. I drew from the Green Glyphs Lenormand deck as well, and it had the house and the sun, so I knew right then that my dad is going to come back soon to the home instead of staying in the hospital, and he'll be fine. He'll be happy. He'll be better than before. Not better than before, but better than when he was ill. And that is what exactly happened. I just feel so blessed that the spirits knew what was on my mind, and the spirits, or my guides, or whatever you want to call them, my allies, told me that he's safe and gave me that reassurance, and it was very memorable. This just happened like last week or 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I just wanted to share that, I don't typically use my decks for health readings, legal readings, but it was nice that the deck kind of broke my own rules to let me know that my dad's going to be okay. Furthermore, my dad had a heart condition, and you can see that in the Justice. When it being reversed, it's kind of hinting that, it's never going to be light again in that sense. But yeah, so many layers to that reading, and so much relief upon getting that reading. Do any of you have any similar experiences with validation, with a shocking reading that you didn't expect occurring in a certain way? Let me know. I'm very interested to hear this. If you enjoyed this content, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment, of course, talk to me. And you guys have a great rest of the day. You take care. Bye!